could be a key factor, but it's still a long way of improving. In their case, it is a classic 0 to hero, but after today's matchup, it's back to 0 sort of storyline. So they need to recuperate real quick here.
And there's a lot on the line for Devil Dog. Bleed are already confirmed #1 in Southeast Asia, but Devil Dog currently sitting in 3rd on 12 points. There's a chance at our last match of the night and our final game of the group stage. After this one, we'll see Direwolves tie them on points. Direwolves are currently on 9. If they get all 3 points out of that game, then they will overtake Devil Dog here if Devil Dog lose this game. So Devil Dog, actually all they need, Cthulhu, is a single point out of this match. So they win 6 rounds, they push overtime, doesn't matter if they go on to lose it, Devil Dog make it to the LCQ, and Direwolves don't. So it's really simple for Devil Dog. On the flip side, Bleed actually don't have anything to lose. Like, they're guaranteed first place. No matter if they win this 7-0 or lose it 7-0, they're not moving. But the repercussions for Devil Dog and Direwolves are massive.
Oh yeah, repercussions are absolutely huge, really. Devil Dog will need to really make sure that they are nailing their performances through and through. The other thing worth mentioning, actually 2 things, Dev. First of all, hell yeah for theme park. We finally get to see it in Southeast Asia. That's one, which I'm actually quite excited for, but slightly not confused, concerned for Devil Dog. 2 is our ban phase. We didn't really get to highlight a whole lot of it, but DKB, Nook, Mira, and Cade out of the equation. More so, I'm curious about this attacking side ban because, well, A, this continues the whole storyline for DKB becoming more and more of a prominent band operator, and 2, Nook. Both teams fully acknowledging, or rather more so Bleed rather than Devil Dog, fully acknowledging how impactful Nook is going to be here, and with players like Shenja, who was a menace. There's no other way to really put this. He's a menace on Nook. Eliminating that out of his pick pool is going to do wonders right now for Bleed Esports, and will probably simplify the job tenfold, if not more.
Interesting little fun fact for Devil Dog. There's only one match this entire year where they haven't banned Dokkaebi. So they've actually banned it, 9 times out of, or 8 times rather, out of 9 maps that they've played this year. So they really don't like going up against that Dokkaebi. As for Bleed, they actually don't often ban the knock. They haven't banned it so far in the league. And so this is clearly something they're just not interested in dealing with for this specific map. And on their attacking side, no doubt the unfavored here on Theme Park, Bleed will begin with a Montaigne and an Amaru.
Funnily enough, there will be a pre-play C4, so the moment any call is going to be made about the advancement is going to mean demise for the Monty, it seems. But instead, actually, full send actually through the showers on the 2nd floor, meaning we might get a very nasty surprise once Bleed begin their full-blown assault.
Oh, Reaps. Of course it's going to be Reaps to find the opener. Second player looking to peek him. He is waiting with that SMG-11, G8 now in hand, and Pokey's actually snuck his way inside a cache. The Monty sees him, the flash comes out, and Reaps can deliver the blow. Unfortunately, Bleed have lost Mentalist in the meanwhile, though.
Yeah, but I mean, losing Mentalist is not the worst position here. As long as Asfi and the rest of the team can really perform, they can do a whole lot of great work. I'm assuming Skux has either disconnected or having some sort of technical issues, but even then, 3v2 is still absolutely perfectly fine here for Bleed Esports, despite, basically them losing 2 of their players early in the round.
This Montaigne can just continue to lap up information. The ping here, perhaps calling for some hard breach. Asfi could do it with his gadget, with his breaching torch, but I think instead he's just going to go and shoot the opponent. Yeah, it's time for a bit of a yeet. Pyomin, the last one left, and Reaps finds him to find the 3K on the round. A huge play from him, finding the opening and the closing for his team, and Bleed beginning the map with the dominance that we expected.
Absolutely. So this is arguably one of the few matches that I would, with full confidence, say that, look, Devil Dog, as much as I would love to see the underdog story could live on, it is going to be a borderline impossible task to really perform here, I reckon. because you look at just how organized from round one, mind you, as well, Bleed Esports are. It is it's already a flurry of just pain coming at them. Pureman, a player who usually would pop off on the roam, as well as Shenja, both of them are sitting currently on a donut after the first round. Only Pokey was able to pick up a frag, but even then, the rest of the team sort of fell apart. So I know it's too early, maybe, for me to judge off the back of just the frags, but this is just to set sort of the stage. This is going to be a very difficult task here for Devil Dog to really perform, especially on a theme park, a map that they haven't really shown. They mostly stuck to either Villa or Clubhouse or Oregon, so that sort of holy trinity of the base maps, really, for Southeast Asia. And so that expansion towards theme park rather than even cafe feels a little bit off to me. I'll be genuinely honest with you here, Dev.
Yeah, well, it's a risky pick, and Devil Dog are under a lot of pressure. They can't afford to make mistakes, right? They started today in third place on 12 points, with Direwolves 6 points below them, down on 6 points, right? They had double Direwolves' points. They played Direwolves earlier today. They lost, which you're telling me was a bit of a surprise. We thought Devil Dog would put up a better fight. And because of that now, Devil Dog have to win this game, right? Otherwise, Direwolves, should they win against Variant X, should they get the full 3 points, they will overtake Devil Dog, knock them out of the LCQ contention, and send them down into the open qualifier playoffs. So huge stakes for Devil Dog here. Because of that, a lot of pressure.
Deadpool had the perfect opportunity here to absolutely shut things down, but instead whips out the shotgun. That's one. Can he make it a 2, though? That could be big. That is, in fact, great. Asfi and Reeves gone. And that now serves as a huge opener for Devil Dog to really make the work. Start chipping away at the Monty as well. That is a ballsy play here by Deadpool.
I respect it. I've got to respect it. And wow, Pokey's come to support as well. So Mentalist has been taken down. Hoven finished off. It's all on Skux, and he doesn't last. A flawless round. Quite the change of pace. It looks like Cthulhu, we might have a game on our hands.
Well, might just have one. But, look, I gotta say, it definitely feels a bit curious is probably the best way to really describe this, how I feel about Devil Dog roster, because looking back at their map on Oregon against Direwolves, they looked, for the lack of a better word, lost on that map. Especially on the attack, they just couldn't really find the right pacing, the right understanding where or what they need to do. Whereas here, that second round actually looked tenfold more cohesive. Albeit, again, it kick-started off the back of Deadpool picking up a very nice double kill and getting rid of Asfi and Reeves. But maybe that is that sort of the win condition that they need to keep on achieving each in every round. Just shut down Reeves, shut down one of the two support players, that is either Asfi or Mentalist. And I say, well, support players very loosely, just because the other three are able to just absolutely frag out of their mind. And then you sort of, now you got a game on your hands where you should be able to actually do some work here for Devil Dog.
Yeah, I wonder as well how much of an impact it is taking down a player like Reeves first. He was the first to fall last round. And so it goes to show that Bleed need to be making sure to do their due diligence. Dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure there's no obvious flanks coming up. Deadpool should never be able to walk all the way up Dragon Stairs with a shotgun out and take down Reeves, let alone taking down the second player as well. And so now, with one defense in their back pocket, Devil Dog will have to replicate that for the rest of the think that they really need to have a 4-2 or a 5-1 here, because I expect Bleed to reply on their defense with some serious dominance. Looks like Pierman is in a bit of a duel with Mentalist, who does get the better of him. Bit unfortunate there for Devil Dog losing the opener. I think that they were probably in the favoured position. Pierman seemed to be aware that Mentalist was pushing in, and yet lost the 1v1.
I mean, you posed the C9 SMG versus the G36C.
Well,
that's a battle that the G36 will win any day, really. So, I mean, I'm partially not surprised that Pierman lost that opportunity, but even so, yeah, look, that would have been great. Mentalist as well, doubling down on getting rid of Shenja as well. This is a phenomenal opening right now. That should be basically now sealing the deal, because generally speaking, if Shenja is not really performing, if Bioman is not performing, and it's all down to, say, players like Pokey, like Deadpool, and maybe even sometimes Namesa, things are certainly looking a little bit dire. Oh, sorry, not even a little bit, very dire.
Oh, another nade kill for Mentalist. That's just unreal. Through the floor, double nades in just about the same spot. Asvi has gone down though, but Namesa is in a spot of bother here. C4 tries to go over the top. I think that just landed on the top. And so Reaps is going to get him. Good patient play here from Bleed. Pokey, anything but patient. He knows he has to move. He's looking to isolate ones. One player has now dropped the control hatch. He's caught in a crossfire. Nice shot there onto Skunks. He's going to have to hit 3 more. Almost finds one. Hoven forcing down that diffuser. Mentalist taken down as well. So this is very winnable. Reaps, fortunately for Bleed, isn't going to let that slide though. And they will find their second attack round here on theme.
I mean, when you're having Reaps jiggle peek like that, there's no way that anyone on the opposition will be able to win out that gunfight unless it's being continuously pre-fired as almost like a laser beam of death. Because, yeah, look, Pokey, I mean, that 180 was a respectable one. I have to highlight that. But anything past that was basically just sort of farm up a few more frags here and there and then basically call it a night, really. And like you highlighted before, 4-2 or a 5-1 needs to happen. Now, well, 5-1 being completely out of the discussion, Devil Dog need to really push it to the maximum. Bioman, ideally, I would love to see Bioman on the Mozzie. I would love that double down on getting rid of the drones in the early stages, prevent that whole information gathering utility from Bleed Esports, and then Devil Dog might be able to ever so slightly level the playfield in their favor.
Well, at least for Devil Dog, they can just keep changing up these bomb sites, right? And a lot of people would consider this Armory Throne bomb site very defender-sided. I think that does depend on how good your attacking side is at this hard breach game and at this roam clear. Two things that I have no doubts Bleed will excel at. You look at the hard breach, though, and it's really just the Monty. So I think that we're going to need to see a lot of prominence on this roam clear. And I really hope for Bleed's sake that Skux can survive that roam clear and begin getting to work on the vertical, because if not, Bleed don't actually have a lot of ingredients.
That's true. I am, though, quite curious about this sort of consistent pick of Amaru for Reaps.
Two good guns, that's all.
Yeah, two good guns though. Yeah, that basically is the answer to that. But I mean, it's not every day you get to see just the pick for the guns. Usually it needs to be supplemented by the utility, but I believe, well, for Reaps, he's the wonder child here of the SEA. He's the one that just can make it work no matter what and just needs two good guns and make it play.
Yeah, well, already one pick for Bleed,
Oof.
and Deadpool is surely not going to last very long. The Monty is taunting him. He's actually able to find one, but Hoven does trade him. Very low HP, though, on Hoven, so I'm a bit scared here for Bleed. We might have man advantage for now, but I don't expect Hoven to survive for much longer. And Pokey may be able to find that C4. The timing was just off. And yeah, it did not press it in time. Must be some information up there from a Valkyrie camera. Fortunately, Devil Dog missed the opportunity. They don't miss the chance, though, to take... Wait, what? Was that a team kill? That must have been, right? Oh my god! What's going on?
Goodbye. Look, explosive gameplay is all that is happening here, Dev. We finally seeing the utilization of the throwables. Shenja, before falling, managed to finally get rid of Hoven. That's actually, as I was just about to highlight, that was all that was really needed to get rid of the shielded operator. Problem being, 50 seconds remaining. Bleed now really need to accelerate this to the fullest. And with zero information about the whereabouts, this could be problematic right now.
And Pokey's managed to make his way around, but does he have the information needed? He does for one.
Wait, that's the diffuser.
Yeah, it is the diffuser, and also, yeah, he's pinged it, there you go. Also has this rotate hole at the 90 hallway. And the doorway into sight is actually Keeper barriered off with the Izami. I think Mentalist might have seen him here. But Mentalist is so low and goes down to a single bullet. It's all up to Skux. He's found 2 kills this round already. Needs 1 more to lock it in for Bleed. There's no chance this diffuser is going down. He's going to need to go hunting. Pokey seems to know exactly where it is. No, he doesn't. The double fake, the double back. And now he can just run away. A huge 1 versus 2 clutch. Devil Dog able to tie up the scoreline.
Skux bolted there for a moment. Could have really just ran for the diffuser and, well, popped open the Azami barricade with the sledgehammer, and then, well, the rest would have been history. But unfortunately, that was not the case. Too many ifs and whats, and, well, too much of the uncertainty meant basically the conclusion of the round going the way how it did. Devil Dog really did their due diligence, and Pokey, yeah, look, that was a phenomenal play. The one thing that, yeah, needs to be highlighted, Pokey, at the time of need, he can perform.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're looking at the scoreline, him being on 62 basically says that very thing. Whereas you look at the Bleed, yeah, look, a couple of bit of unfortunate turnouts. Skux, yeah, look, unfortunately having a bit of a rough run, but at least it's good to see that, you know, players like Mentalist, players like Reap still can keep on performing. I mean, overall, their pushes still have been really well organized. It's just unfortunately for them, it's either just too much of a confidence, ends up playing a really cruel joke on them, and not really expecting some of the more unconventional angles. Because, I mean, who would have thought that running past a breached floor, you would receive a impact right at your heels? So it's a bit more so it was like, well, what do you do against those sort of positions? How do you circumvent them? And usually the answer being, well, you can't really.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm a bit concerned here for Bleed. They need to make sure to win this half. You know, I'm optimistic, Cthulhu, that Bleed can dominate this game if they dominate their attack half. Because I think when they move on to their defense, I'd be very surprised if Devil Dog are able to put up a lot of attacks on this map. Theme Park's so difficult to attack, especially when you're going up against competition that should really be above your level. And that's exactly the story of this game, right? Bleed are another echelon, only to Devil Dog, but to every other team in this league. So nail through a couple of attacks, get a couple opening kills. That's a nice start here for Reaps. Deadpool going down. And then we'll see where we work on it from there.
That's true. Poor Deadpool. I don't think that was even a frag. My man just got absolutely deleted out of the game with that sort of swing from Reaps. But already a fairly quick take. I mean, Theme Park so far going fairly decent, especially round 5. Reaps being an absolute menace that he is, just continues to perform in a stellar manner. The interesting part as well being that minute 30, and they still have a good buffer of time to push, and they're getting closer and closer by the second to the actual site. So Devil Dog easing their grip, and just like that, letting away those frags should not really happen.
Frags come through, the flashes come through, and a C4 for Namesar. Not a kill to his name, and that's going to stay that way for now. Pyomin, oh, there's not a lot of bullets in that gun, but enough to somehow find 2 kills. That's 2 of the most dangerous players on Bleed. It's up to Skux and Asfi now, but Asfi just does not lose those. Bleed once again take the lead with yet another fairly convincing attack.
Oh, man. Okay. This has been quite an interesting game so far due to just how much of a back and forth it has been. One would have expected to see sort of Bleed just floor it and completely decimate their opponents, and they still can. I mean, the 3-2 scoreline does promise the opportunities for a 4-2, and then God knows you can make it a 7-2 as well in a very rapid manner. But for Devil Dog, they on the rounds that they were able to take, they shown good resilience in terms of even when they were lacking by the numbers, they would be able to, you know, manage their positionings, manage their timings. I mean, remembering Pokey's play as well to hide away from Skux in the lab. it's all sort of in terms of just solo play, it all works out pretty well. Problem being, Devil Dog are lacking in just overall coordination, where they need to coordinate their aggression, their plays, their unpredictability, and it seems like maybe they just playing off the back of the idea that if we don't know what we're doing, they don't know what we're doing.
It's always a dangerous mentality to have. I would love to see a spawn peek here from Devil Dog. That would just be
surely
such a confidence booster. It's almost adding insult to the game. Bleed know that they are... Well, they know how good they are, right? They are convinced they're locked in for the LCQ. And if Bleed don't make it to the major, it would probably be one of the biggest upsets we've seen so far in the league. And they really shouldn't be dying at spawn peaks like this. But we have another player!
Oh no!
That is so unfortunate for Reaps, the timing as he switched his weapon. And Namesar took a little bit longer than he would have liked to get that kill, but he did get it. And now Pokey's rotated back in. This is exactly what you were saying. If Devil Dog don't know what they're doing, then how on earth will Bleed?
Exactly that. Letting 2 players down, 2 big impactful players down. This could be meaning a whole lot of problems for Bleed. A 3-3 scoreline would also put a bit of a chip on Bleed's shoulder, really.
Yeah.
And maybe that will be just about enough to really push them to, you know, get a little bit more aggro, just clean up their act and say, okay, right, that's enough of the tomfoolery. We're just going to wrap it all up in our fashion and just do it our way. Hoven at least does get the better of Pokey, but not before another Bleed player does fall. So down to Skux and Hoven, look, they still have sort of that quote-unquote the star power to really do it.
I don't think Skux has got much info here. He's been caught on camera, so his backstab has been revealed. And Devil Dog know where the last 2 Bleed players are. Deadpool, definitely not necessary to swing that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And now Skux in a real difficult position. 1v4 does find Deadpool, but these guys just continue to peak. And you got to respect the goal from Devil Dog. They even up the scoreline on their half, thanks to some great aggression. They're not letting Bleed get the better of them now.
Right. I'll be absolutely honest with you, Dev. I went into this matchup fully expecting to Bleed just to almost pull a 7-0. Yeah. Totally. But looking at this now, I'm getting more and more hyped for the Devil Dog train. Because, I mean, remembering their performance, what was it? Yeah, day 2. After what was an absolutely abysmal turnout for them, a 7-0 against Elevate. And from there on, that was literally their only game throughout that day. And they came back with a textbook clubhouse against Fury. There's a slight pinch of hope still there for me, but obviously that would mean still a huge upset in terms of just Bleed's immortal status in SEA.
Yeah, and it's not just that no one has been able to push Bleed to the limit. In fact, the team that was the closest to doing so was Direwolves, who took 4 rounds off of Bleed. That's the closest game these guys have had. And Devil Dog need 6 rounds here in total, so only 3 attacks. And that actually knocks Direwolves out of LCQ contention, and it gifts Devil Dogs that 3rd place in the league and a spot in the last chance qualifier. Shenja has also punished an attempted spawn peek here from Hoven. Skux might go for one as well, though. The default camera was still up last we checked, so a lot of Bleed players looking to get aggressive here. I'm pretty scared here for Devil Dog, and okay, 2 kills there for Asfi on the run out. Traded back, does make this even now. 3 players on each side, but still hard breach available for Devil Dog, and they're going to apply that straight away to this barrel's wall.
Mental is actually with a shotgun here as well. SASG could be deadly here at this range. He's about to do it, man. He's about to swing. Oh, he doesn't really know. That would have been just deadly.
What am I watching, bro? This is something else. I've never seen anything quite like this. Welcome to SEA, I guess. Hang on, it's Reaps, though. And he's the player that always delivers for Bleed. He's done a bit more damage there, and he can get the 1v2. This is some pacey siege if I've ever seen it. Runouts, jump outs, rushes, and Reaps with a massive clutch there for Bleed to retake the lead.
Jeez Louise, okay. Well, That's one way to really wrap up a round. From an SCSG to a clutch from behind the bomb chassis. Look, that's one hell of a way to wrap up a round. Reaps, yeah, being as sharp as ever, really. Claiming that, by the way, that's his 10th kill as well.
Wow.
Making it a really, really solid turnout for him. Once again, proving that he is the wonder child right now of the SEA. The one to really showcase. He is, in fact, that guy.
Yeah, I've heard it said. I was actually just walking down the street today, actually, early this morning. In the lovely streets of Melbourne, you know, great spot. Some guy just taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, do you know Reaps? Because he is that guy." And I was like, "Man, tell me about it, bro. Reaps is absolutely that guy." Unfortunately, he doesn't have his camera on. He's pretty of a, I don't know if shy is the right word, but he's not one to really showboat his personality, at least within the Western scene. I think he's got quite a large following in China and in the Chinese Rainbow6 community. But he likes to stay behind the shadows. And that actually brings me back to, I think it was one of the earlier Playdays, Cthulhu. Do you remember there was that social media post from Bleed where it was a Bleed v Direwolves game, actually.
Yes.
And it had a picture of Reaps holding a knife, you know, the knife he'd just taken out of Direwolves' back. I thought that was phenomenal. Great social media work.
Oh yeah, Bleed has been doing absolute wonders on the social media side of things, whether it's graphics, whether it's just even kickstarting that sort of almost the villain storyline for themselves, and I think it suits them really well here as well. They're the ones that sort of build up that what now feels like a super roster, and it all sort of, all the puzzle pieces fell into all the correct places, and it has been a genuine, you know, a genuine pleasure to watch them develop, to watch them perform. The way how they've so far dominating SEA seed in stage 1 has been a treat and a half. And I mean, you're looking at the MVP wins as well. Reaps being on the top, it just says it all. It's all there. They are, in fact, that group of people. They are those guys, and Reaps being sort of the head of those guys. I don't know where I went with that.
He is the guyest of guys. You know, he's the
guyest
guy.
of guys.
If they are those guys, then he is that guy.
Exactly.
Know? Well, having a look at some of the replays we've got so far, it has been a back and forth game, Cthulhu, which we really haven't expected. In fact, I'm looking at the way that the rounds are gone, the round tracker so far. It has literally been back and forth. So round 1, Bleed. Round 2, Devil Dog, Bleed. Devil Dog, Bleed. Devil Dog, Bleed again. So what's going to happen this round, I wonder? Devil Dog, maybe?
Surely Devil Dog just come out swinging.
You'd think so, right? Which is pretty exciting, because Devil Dog, right, on 3 rounds so far, they need 3 more, and they guarantee the LCQ.
What's actually, I know this is a very far-fetched sort of theory here, but this would actually fit in the whole villain storyline almost perfectly here. No.
If you're going to say what I think you're saying.
Yes, I am absolutely going that way.
No.
They'll double down on completely forcing Direwolves out of competition, force them to go through the open qualifiers just by letting Devil Dog get to that 6th point, which could absolutely backfire, and this would be a very far-fetched sort of situation, but if that's the case...
I mean, the thing is, like, this game really doesn't matter for Bleed in terms of the standings.
They lose nothing.
They're ahead clear of everyone else in the league, and this is the second last match of the group stage, right? This is Bleed's last match. They lose this, it doesn't matter. They get 0 points. They could have got 7-0'd, and they still would be first place in the league. So, yeah, I mean, I really hope that's not the case, Cthulhu, but it could be the case that Bleed, you know...
But imagine the storylines, though.
Yeah, it's the storylines. There's also some questions of competitive integrity, which the admins will have to look into. So I hope Bleed aren't letting Devil Dog stringing them along a little bit here. At the hope that it does shut out Direwolves. Of course, Direwolves are yet to play. They have a game afterwards.
Obviously, yeah, we wouldn't know the full sort of picture, obviously, and like I said, it's all very much of a sort of a very far-fetched sort of theory, but I mean, oh my lord, those flicks nearly actually were deadly there from Deadpool, but Yeah, look, I pitched that idea. No, it doesn't look like that is the case. Pyoman and Pokey being the last two remaining, I don't think they survived for too long.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it was Devil Dog all alone that were looking to make this a quick game. They were the ones who decided to send it in with the Amaru and the shotgun. It's not worked out for them at all. 2 players, but only 3 up for Bleed, so perhaps winnable if they can bait out a kill or 2. We've seen Bleed occasionally overpeak, occasionally let their opponents get back into it.
Yeah, well, with Pyoman already out of the equation, things are looking to wrap up pretty rapidly 2v1. Though a minute and a half, so I mean, Pokey could really just take his time and see if he can make a play off sort of the last, say, 30 seconds and go for swinging, but even then, I mean, ooh, that could have been actually a very naughty shot to the head if that would have connected to, I believe that's actually Mentalist playing from that position. Yeah. Despite that, I mean, I don't know, that's kind of...
Oh, there you go, Mentalist. Okay. He was the one up close, and he does take down the last player, so there you go. The back and forth trend has finally been broken, Cthulhu. Bleed get the 2 rounds in a row they needed to break it. And with it, they are just 2 rounds away from locking in another victory. They would be flawless. I mean, they are flawless so far, and everyone expected coming into this game that they would remain that way by the end of it. Plus 18 points, plus 31 round difference. They've only dropped 11 rounds in their 6 matches so far. If you count this one, that's 14 across 7 matches.
Across 7 matches, yeah. That's...
And the closest game was a 7-4 as well, which is just insane.
I mean, that's an achievement and a half already as it is. And whilst look, Devil Dog did have a pretty decent start to the first half on their defense, I don't think, Bleed are going to let them slip away any further. With the attack, with the setups that they have been introducing, I think this is where Bleed really get extra serious, just sort of cut their losses, say, okay, well, we'll just wrap it all up, no matter who gets to, well, play for the MVP. Obviously, in this case, it is once again going to be Reaps. But yeah, look, Bleed certainly had a few sort of moments where I'll be thinking, well, okay, maybe Devil Dog are starting to really nail the pacing against them, but reality was all just sort of getting all of those aces out of their sleeves, it seems.
Just look at the read here from Devil Dog. They're expecting Bleed to continue that momentum, continue the aggression, and it looks like they were right. Reap's just peeking out. He does get taken very low HP, but he doesn't really care. He's got 12 kills and 5 deaths. He's unreal at the moment. 2.2 KD, I think?
Something similar across those lines, yeah.
Yeah, my quick math serves me right. And still people running out the building for Bleed.
Again, they are so close to just winning it all out, might as well be able to afford at least 1 or 2 more runouts. Even though technically, yeah, statistically, this sort of losing this map wouldn't really do a whole lot of things, but it's more so for the principle. I mean, finishing the whole season undefeated, that would be one hell of a statement from them. Compared to, oh yeah, we lost our final game. That still doesn't carry as much weight. I mean, when you're talking about Bleed, you're talking about Reaps being able to nail these sort of shots from literally out of nowhere. And Bleed continuing the sort of domination has been just nuts. Can't discredit as well Devil Dog. I still gotta give them kudos throughout this whole season. They did have a really solid glow up. Unfortunately, just for their last matchup, yeah, they versing against Bleed, and that is the impossible challenge. I mean, when you're facing this just at the entry of the building, there's not much else to be really said.
Yeah, well, it seems like our theories that we started to theory craft in the first half are proving to be true, Cthulhu. It might have been even when Bleed were on the attack, but as soon as they switched on to defense, this incredibly defender-sided map proved too much for Devil Dog to attack. That's 3 defense in a row now for Bleed. Devil Dog unable to get a look in at all in the second half, and they may well go down here 7-3 unless if they drastically mix something up. Remember the stakes, Devil Dog, their chance of making it to the LCQ remains in their hands. All they got to do is push overtime, which now is looking incredibly difficult. It looked quite achievable back when they were up 3-2 or 3-3, but now it's very scary. Hoven is trying to make Dragon Eyes. He really messed that one. Oh, thank you, Sky, for your input on that one, our observer, putting an L in the chat. That was a bit of a miss from Hoven, so I don't know. That Dragon's got a bit of a lazy eye.
Yeah, a bit scuffed on the eye, but I'll look at it.
Nice
Surely
attempt.
it'll work out. Yeah, it's still a solid attempt.
You can see
I
Reeps
think
just looking at it.
Why?
Reeps is like, Hoven, why do I team with you? Why are you like this, bro?
He's just bewildered at this point. Still what's happening. I still think that the best sort of art with the Valkyrie cameras is the bear head on Chalet.
Yes.
Because having with the two eyes is just like the googly eyes just do it all. But
Oh!
so is Hoven. He just does this just out of nowhere.
I mean, you can't say that he's throwing when he's putting Valkyrie cams on things when he also manages to do that. Shenjit taken down. Massive open up there for Bleed. And Hoven's just having a laugh about it as well. Reeps on the roam with the shoddy to open up these hatches. He's got a crossfire. And Deadpool's taking a bit of damage for it. Now peeking with the DMR. I mean, there's no way in this universe where Reeps is favored to win that. But it's Reeps after all. And he's done a little bit of damage there under Pokey.
Okay. Still not over yet, I reckon. Despite Shenji being down with Deadpool.
There you go.
Yeah, but just pulling out a dub like that, that's a great one. But with Hoven still being active at large, this is going to be a dangerous opportunity here. And with that opening, yeah, that's a huge position for the kill.
Is he going to spot out a player?
Oh, yeah,
there
yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeoman moves too far back, and now Barrels is turned into a kill box. One kill for Pokey, but the trade back again. It's all onto Namesa here. Bleed. Of course, it was going to be the full 7-0 for the scoreline on the standings. They are absolutely unreal. A 7-3 victory in the server and a 7-0-0-0 record on the standings. Nobody can touch these guys.
Not at all. Quick